There is a video that's floating around on YouTube about a father whipping his teenage daughter because she left the house for 3 days. The mother records the whole whooping, and after that, they both post it on the internet for everyone to see. As the black community goes, we hardly want to talk about how we discipline our children. Now, in the video, he is calling her names. And me personally, I believe this, and I believe this with my full heart. I did not agree with the fact that he was calling her the B words and the HO words. I did not agree with that. Because I do believe that it's better to tell your children why they're being whooped than to call them names. But I do agree with the spanking. Now, this is a very complex situation, so we're going to dive in it because we have different views on the situation. We got some people that call it abuse, so we have to look at the mental part of it and we have to look at the physical part of it. So, some people say that, hey, I got whoopings when I grew up, and these whoopings ended up helping me. And I am the person I am today because I got whoopings. There's some people that didn't get whoopings, and it came out just fine. So what I'm basically trying to say, I think it just boils down to the person, or the individual, or the child. But one thing I do know is the government does want to control how you discipline your children. And I want to talk about that for a second too, because we got to be careful about giving the government too much power over the way that we discipline our children, which they already are doing. Because now, if you even spank your kid on the butt, they'll put you in jail if that kid complains about you whooping them. Even though we are living in a day and age where kids are out of control, kids are on drugs, young girls are falling into prostitution, young men are getting into gangs. Even though that is at an all-time high, we still want to restrict people from disciplining their children. So we have to be careful with wanting to turn over our power over to this government and law enforcement every time we discipline our children. Which I do think that there should be laws intact to protect your children. I do believe that abuse does exist. So like I say, it's a very complex situation. And I'm seeing a lot of videos, but they're not dealing with the solutions. They're not dealing with the facts, and they're not really opening the subject. They're just giving their opinion. And that's what I hate about most of the videos on YouTube. They really don't dive into the depths of the situation. They always just say, this is how I feel, and I feel this way, and I feel that that was abuse, or I feel that, yeah, he should have spanked her. She needed to be spanked, leaving for 3 days, dressing like a grown woman. So you're going to have different outlooks on it. So I want to really break the subject apart, and then I can get your opinion on how you feel about the situation. Now, we can look at it from different angles. We got some children that are never whooped, so let's talk about them. They come out just fine. But see, the thing is, they probably had parents that motivated them a lot. They probably had the kind of parents that would be there for them. And they probably was the kind of child that already listened. So that's probably why they came out just fine, because they didn't need a whooping. They didn't need discipline. You do have children that are just naturally good children. So you really don't have to whoop them. So these kids will come out okay because they never had to be disciplined. But what about the child that's constantly in the middle of disorderly conduct, talking back to you, disrespecting you all the time? What do you do in that situation? Do you use the same I won't whoop you method and just let your kids run out of control, get on drugs, and do all kinds of crazy things? Should we do that all in the matter of you shouldn't whoop your or abuse your kids? Because see, I used to live in the hood, and in the hood, I seen a lot of kids that didn't get whoopings, and those kids were in the streets with guns. They was in the streets talking crazy, acting grown, and these kids were never disciplined. So it can have a catch 22 situation. Damn if you do and damn if you don't. So that's where I feel. I feel it's all according to the child. If the child doesn't need discipline, then you don't have to whoop them because the child is naturally good. But if that kid is out of control, something has to be done. And in some situations, what I don't like about the government and law enforcement, they tell you, hey, you can't whoop your kids. But when your kids go out there and get in gangs and come home pregnant at 13, guess who's the one that has to deal with it? But you can't whoop your kids. See, so it's a very complex situation. But I believe that there is a solution to the situation. I think that when it comes to us disciplining our kids, we go according to what kind of kid it is. If it is a kid that's always getting in trouble, talking back to you and disrespecting you, I feel that you don't spare the rod. You whoop that child because that child doesn't know how to respect your verbal commands. So therefore you have to use some physical whooping to get your point across. Now if the kid listens to you, then there's no reason to whip your child because your child is already good. If you can talk to your child and they respond to you and they respect your verbal command, then yes, see, there's no reason for you to whoop them. But if they don't respect your verbal command, then you are stuck in no position but to use some type of physical spanking. That is how you break down the narrative. And I believe that we all have our different ways of disciplining our children. But one thing I don't agree with is calling your kids hoes, bitchs, bastards, you'll never be nothing. One thing I don't stand for and I don't agree with is verbal abuse. I don't believe in that. I believe that you can spank your kids and should spank your kids. But leave the verbal out of it. Leave the bad language out of it. If you're going to spank your kids, let them know why they're being spanked. And let them know that you love them when you spanking them. And that's what I believe. I believe that there is a way that you can discipline. There is a way that you can whip your children without leaving some kind of mental scar. So let me know how you feel about this situation. It is very complex. But that is my opinion on the matter. And that is my opinion on the situation. And not only that, when it comes to black and white, we know that we discipline our children and we believe in different laws when it comes to disciplining our children. So we're going to have different opinions just coming from different cultures. So that within itself is going to cause a diversion because we don't see things the same. But anyways, like I say, let me know how you feel. Let me know how you feel about this video. Let me know how you feel about spanking your children. And let me know how you feel about disciplining your child, giving whoopings, sparing the rod, or just simply letting your kid just do whatever they want to do. Let me know how you feel. Check out the video, like, subscribe, because I want to hear from you. I want to hear your opinion. Thank you for listening. One love.